Hello, my name is Stag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book rant. Today I'm going to be covering this book, The Stag Lord. As you can see, it still has the sticker on the top right part of the cover. This book was bought at Coas Books. It was labeled in March of 2022. I bought it probably around October of 2022 and read it right around the new year, 2022 into 2023. This book is copyright 2014, and this is a first edition December 2014 copy. The cover design and interior layout are by Eric A. Nanali. That is a lot of repeated letters in a row. Okay. The author of this book is Darby Kay. This is a first edition. The description reads, "A Celtic warrior and his young son go hand to horn with a New World shapeshifter in modern-day Colorado. Aided by a beautiful healer, her loyal unto death dog, and a clan of immortal fae." It then says, "The author acknowledges the copyrighted or trademarked status and trademark owners of the following word marks mentioned in this fiction." And this ranges from the Avengers, the Broncos, Coors and Fat Tire, Rambo, Lucky Charms, the Lion King, the Transformers, Trojan, Tylenol, Vice Grip, and X-Men, and there's more. She uses a lot of brand names in this. I paid $7 for this book, which is really nice because it turns out this copy is also signed. I don't know that this book will ever become really big and famous, but the fact that I have a first edition signed copy through a used bookstore, and this copy is in really good condition. If you look, there's very little wear and tear. The spine is good. The person or one of the people who owned this before me, dog-eared a lot of their pages, so, that's a bit obnoxious, but otherwise, it's in really good condition. It's only 248 pages long, but it's also got some small text. I'll see if you can see that. So it's not large font 250, it's small font 250. This book is the story of Bannerman Boru, who is a single father. His wife has passed away, and he has a young son named Kor. Somehow these two have brought upon them the wrath of the Stag Lord. The god's name is taboo in the book because saying it summons him, but they refer to him as Cernunnos. Anytime they mention it, there's a omen that brings about the attention of this villain, this antagonist. This is, for the most part, a story has action, and that is one of the main draws for it, but it is also a romance story. They end up coming upon, through their travels in Colorado, Shay Doyle, who is a healer that comes upon them and tries to help them using as much mundane methods as she can. But eventually the secret that both Bannerman and Shay are fae comes out, and it really intertwines their two lives in a firmer way. See, Shay is very close with her family, and her family are very welcoming and want to help out an injured fae that comes into their land. Of course, with Bannerman being a young, attractive, single father, there's room in his life for a woman. And the family, pushes her, nudges her along. So there's a lot of flirting in this book. There's also a lot of, suggestive comments. Shay's aunt and uncle make a lot of suggestions very openly that she should try and attach herself and involve herself romantically with Bannerman because he is both Fey nobility and also a good looking guy. There's a moment where they're teasing her. Her whole family is teasing her. Bannerman has been unconscious or injured and is taking his time getting up. As he enters the kitchen, the dining room, the conversation is getting heated to the point where she says, "I'm not going to sleep with this guy I just met a few days ago." And he says, there's a moment where he says, "I'll pretend not to be hurt by that," or he's playing along with it. The family goes in and they play along with it. The aunt says, "Well, I will if you won't," or something to that extent. And it's good. The author is good at making the family feel close and connected with each other. Cernunnos also involves some local Firbolgs to beat up Bannerman and to try and get his hands on Core. There's also personal grudge matches involved. The one of Shay's exes wants to get back at Bannerman for being involved with her. The Firbolgs are trying to get revenge for those slain by Bannerman in an earlier assault, and so there's a lot of back and forth that mixes well with the romance, and this author does it really well. So one of the moments here that I was referring to, Shay watched as the Boru men disappeared towards the stairs. A throat clearing caught her attention. She refrained from rolling her eyes. Barely. "I already know what you're going to say, Anne, and that's not my goal in life, okay? I have a calling and that keeps me busy. You can have both if it's with the right guy. So, I'm going to say it. Shay Doyle," her aunt announced, "think about marrying that man, or I will, just to keep him in the family. Polygamy." Hugh pondered the idea, swirling his wine, the glass dwarfed by fingers thick enough and strong enough to snap the stem. "Why, that would make a curious addition to our heritage." Mischief lit up his eyes. "Certainly to our marriage, eh, Anne? To our marriage bed, eh, eh?" His ginger eyebrows waggled up and down in case his wife didn't get it. Tempted to stuff her fingers in her ears and start humming, Shay hastily interrupted her uncle. "Marriage? And I just met him barely 3 weeks ago. And it's not like we're getting to know each other under normal, everyday circumstances." "All the better," Hugh said. "You discover a person's true nature when they are in the midst of battle. Of any sort. And you have to admit, Bannerman Boru's nature is of the highest caliber. Even when he beat the crap out of Quinn, one of his finest moments." Deciding to change a conversation she was pretty sure, well, 95% sure she wasn't ready to have, Shay continued, "Speaking of battle, what are we going to do?" She held up a hand and began ticking off on her fingers. "We've got the Stag Lord after Core, for reasons we still don't know. We've got a pack of Firbolgs on our tails, possibly rogue ones, and now Quinn has joined the crazies. Plus my house is wrecked, there's probably a foot of snow piling up inside from this blizzard." "One problem at a time," Hugh scratched his beard and thought. "Well, for now, we are safe here. The Firbolgs cannot get in, nor can Cernunnos, not with the wards we have all around the property." "And Tully? What's to stop him from removing your wards as he did mine?" She took another drink of her beer. "What?" she added when Hugh and Anne grinned at each other. And so then it continues. The back and forth is fun, but obviously it's wearing Shay down until the end. It's a romance. It's the first in a series, so there's more to come from the relationships as well as more to come from these characters. All in all, I liked it. I think, I've been using the handle Wild Stag since like 2013, and so any title with the word stag in it is going to stand out on the shelves to me. And further, the cover just looks really good. The faint outline of the elk, the red deer, the more Celtic style tattoo design or uh, artistic design above it, the face of a person not entirely shown. It all comes to a really interesting cover, and it works really well for pulling me in, and I liked this book. I think if you get around to seeing it on your shelves, you should pick it up. It was worth the $7 for me. I read it the one time, and then I read it again in quick succession. It's worth reading a couple times. It's interesting, it's fun, and yeah, I think if you see this on your shelves, you should pick it up. My name is Wild Stag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book rant.